Welcome to Eureka Math. This is Module 2, Lesson 27, and we are continuing with decimal division. Our objective today is to divide decimal dividends by two-digit divisors, estimating quotients, reasoning about the placement of the decimal point, and making connections to a written method. So, this is more of the same. We're just continuing to work on division with decimals. Some of you are still struggling a bit. So let's go to our Learn book. Okay, Lesson 27, problem set, name on your paper. Number 1, divide. Check your work with multiplication. Okay, so 5.6 divided by 16. Now I'm going to look at this and I'm thinking to myself, this is 56 tenths. So 16 could go into 56 about how many times? Well, if this were 15, 30, 45, 60, and it's a little short, so I'm going to estimate 4. And 4 times 6 is 24. Carry the 2. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. So guess what? This number is bigger than this number, and I estimated incorrectly. So I'm going to erase that, and I'm going to try again. The number 3 this time, I'm going to go down. 3 times 6 is 18, carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. And now I have an 8 remainder. That fits much better, doesn't it? Now I'm going to add a 0 here into the hundredths place, and I'm going to bring that 0 down. 16 would go into 80 about 5 times, 6 times. Let's try 6 times. Okay, 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 is 9. Oh, I did it again. I went above, so I'm going to take that back down to 5. My estimating isn't going very well today. 6 times 5 is 30. Carry the 3. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 6, 7, 8. And there is 0. Wonderful. Now, the decimal stays in its row, right here, stays in its column, and I have 35 hundredths. So I'm going to take that 35 hundredths. I'm going to multiply by 16 to check my work. 6 times 5 is 30, carry the 3. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 3 is 21. Then add a 0. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 3 is 3. And then add 0, 6, 5. And then put my decimal space in. 1, 2, 1, 2. And I've got 5 and 60 hundredths, which is what I started with, right? 5 and 6 tenths. So there we go. Check my work, and it seemed to work out. The answer is 35 hundredths. Next, I have 21 divided by 14, and 14 will go into 21 one time, right? 1 times 14 is 14. Now subtract, and I have 7 left. So I'm going to add a tenths place and bring down that 0. Okay. And 14 will go into 70. How many times do you think? I'm going to say 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16, carry the 1. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Oh, look at that. It could have gone another time because this is turning out to be 14, which is the same as the remainder. So I'm going to delete this 4, or erase the 4, and I'm going to erase these numbers here. Try again. Oops. Okay. And now I'm going to put the 5. 5 times 4 is 20. Carry the 2. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. And now I have 0 there. My decimal point stays where it is, right there, 1 and 5 tenths. And now I'm going to do the multiplication to check my work. And I get 21, which is what I started with right there. Excellent. Next one. 24 divided by 48. Well, 24 divided by 48. That isn't going to go in there at all, is it? It's not going to go into the ones place. So let's go ahead and add a 0 right away. Okay? Now, 48 into 240 is, let's see, if we rounded that in our heads up to 50, 50 would fit into 200 4 times. And it might just fit in there 5 times because it's less than 50. So let's estimate that. 5 times 8 is 40, carry the 4. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 4 is 24. There, we did it. Perfect. Nice job. Okay, 5/10. So now I'm going to multiply that 48 by my 5/10. And notice here I multiplied with the with my quotient on top and my divisor on the bottom, and here I put the divisor on top and the quotient on the bottom. It doesn't matter. Remember, multiplication, you can go either way. Okay? And I just realized that my camera here is hidden behind there. So let me just go ahead and change that. Sorry. Didn't realize I wasn't talking to you. There we go. And 5 times 8 is 40. Put the 4 here. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 4 is 24. Then I put that decimal space back in. Remember, there's 1 space there, so 24 is my answer. Next one. 36 divided by 24. And 24 will go into 36 one time with a remainder of 12. Now I'm going to add a tenths place 0. And 24 into 120 will fit 5 times, 6 times, 5 times. Let's try 5 times. 5 times 4 is 20, carry the 2. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. There it is, right there. Okay, now I check my work. 1 and 5/10 times 24 is 20, carry the 2. 4, 5, 6, and 10, carry the 1 is 3. Then add, then put the decimal back in, 36. Great, same number. 81 divided by 54. Notice these are all multiples of 9. Did you notice that? And these were multiples of 12. That means we're probably going to get pretty lucky here. And 54 is going to go into 81 once. Then I subtract. And I get 727. I'm going to add a 0 to the tens place, bring it down. 54 into 270. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. I'm not sure. Maybe 5 times. Well, yes, 5 times. Let's go back to 5 times. Five times 4 is 20, carry the 2 is 25, 26, 27. Yes, that was a better estimate, wasn't it? Now I'm going to multiply 1 and 5/10 times 54. 4 times 5 is 20, carry the 2. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. Drop the 0. 5 times 5 is 25, carry the 2. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. And I get 81. So much division practice, so much multiplication practice. We're doing great. You guys are doing great. 15 and 6/10 divided by 15. Well, we know 15 will go into 15 one time. And there we get a 0. But that's not the 0 we're looking for because we still need to include these 6/10. So I'm going to bring the 6/10 down. But I already know that 5 isn't going to go into 6/10. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a 0 right here. 0 times 15 is 0. And now I have 6 in my 10th spot. I'm going to add a 100th place. And I have 60. 15 will go into 60 4 times. And that is 0. Now I'm going to multiply my quotient by my divisor. 5 times 4 is 20, carry the 2. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 0 is 0, plus 2 is 2. 5 times 1 is 5. Drop the 0. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 1 is 1. And then add 0, 6, 5, 1. And then I have 2 decimal spots. So 15 and 6/10. Next one. 5 and 4/10 divided by 15. Well, 15 would go into 30 twice, and it would go into 45 3 times. So let's see. 3 times 15 is 45. And subtract, I get 9 here. Then I'm going to put a 0 in the hundredths place, bring down that 0. And 15 will go into 90 6 times, right? 15, 30, 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90. So 6 times. There's the 0. Okay. Now I'm going to multiply 36 hundredths times 15. That's 30, 15, 16, 17, 18, 0, 6, 3, 0, 12, 13, 14, carry the 1 is 5. And I have 2 decimal spots, 1, 2. There we go. Okay. 16 and 12 hundredths divided by 52. Okay, well, 52 isn't going to go into 16, so I'm going to put a 0 there. Now, 52 will go into 161 3 times. So that's 6 and 15, right? Now I'm going to subtract that, and I get 5. Bring down this 2. Well, 52 will go into 52 1 time. There's my 0. And now to check my answer, I'm going to multiply 31 hundredths times 52. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. Drop the 0. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 3 is 15. Wait a minute. I think I made a mistake. Let me try it. I was rushing. Let me go slower. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. Then add a 0. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 3 is 15. Then add, I got 2, 11, 6, 1. And I have 1, 2 spaces over, 1, 2 spaces over right there, 16 and 12 hundredths. Okay, now 2 and 8/10 divided by 16. Well, 16 times 2 is 32, so that's not enough. So just 1 time. Okay. Now I'm going to put a 0 in my hundredths place, bring that down. 16 into 120. Let's see. 15 would go into 120 evenly. It would go into 120 almost evenly. Let's see. 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90, 105, 120. If it were 15, it would go in evenly 8 times, but it's not. So let's try 7 times. 7 times 6 is 42, carry the 4. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 4 is 8, 9, 10, 11. Now I've got 8 left over. I'm going to add it to the thousandths place. And I know that 16 will go into 85 times. I know that because we've done that so many times now. 5 times 6 is 30, carry the 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now check my work. There's my decimal point right there. It stays in its column. And I've got 175 thousandths times 16. Check my work. 6 times 5 is 30, carry the 3. 6 times 7 is 42, plus 3 is 45, carry the 4. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 4 is 10. And yeah, okay. Add the 0, 5, 7, 1. Now I've got 0, 10, 8, 2, and 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. 2 and 8 tenths, or 2 and 800 thousandths. Next page. All right, I was getting a little tired of those problems. I bet you were too. Let's see, we got some story problems here. 30 and 48 hundredths kilograms of beef was placed into 24 packages of equal weight. What is the weight of one package of beef? So we've got 30 and 48 kilograms divided into 24 packages. Okay, so let's rewrite that as 30, 48, okay, 24 on the outside. 24 goes into 30 one time. Then I've got 6 left over. Bring down the 4. I think I can get that into there, not 3 times, but definitely 2. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 2 is 4. Now I've got 16. Bring down this 8. And now I think I can get 24 into 164. 1, 2, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Let's try that. 7 times 4 is 28. Carry the 2. 2 times 7 is 14 plus 2 is 15, 16. Yay. All right, what is the weight of one package of beef? 1.27 kilograms per package. Now, that is probably the average weight because usually when they pack beef, it's very difficult to get exact weights. That's why if you go to the meat section or the cheese section in the grocery store and you look at a package, they all have their prices are all just a little bit different because their weight is all just a little bit different and they usually sell them by weight. What is the length of a rectangle whose width is 17 inches and whose area is 582 and 25 hundredths inches squared? Okay, so we want to find out what is the length. Well, we know that area equals length times width, and we know that this area is 582 and 25 equals 17 times, length times 17, okay? Now I need to get this 17 over to the other side, and the best way to do that is to divide, okay? So I'm going to divide this whole thing by 17 and this whole thing by 17. This is a fraction symbol, but fractions are division. So what happens when I have a 17 over a 17 when I'm using fractions? Well, that equals 1, right? So there's L. And now on this side, I have 582.25 divided by 17. This is another way of writing 582.25 divided by 17, which is just another way of writing 582.25 divided by 17, okay? So let's go ahead and do our math problem. 17 goes into 58, let's see, 3 times, maybe? Let's try that. 17 times 3 would be 21. Carry the 2, 3, 4, 5, yes. And 8 minus 1 is 7. Now I'm going to bring down the 2. 17 into 72, well, it's definitely at least 3. Maybe 4 times? Maybe 4, let's see. 4 times 7 is 28. Carry the 2. 4 times 1 is 2, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now I have 4 remaining. Bring down that 2. 17 goes into 42 2 times. And that is 14. Carry the 1 is 34. And now I have 8 remaining. And 5. Let's see, 17 into 85. Definitely 4 times, but maybe 5 times. Let's try that. 5 times 7 is 35. Carry the 3. 5, 6, 7, 8. There it is. Okay, so inches. What is the length of the rectangle whose width is 17 inches and whose area is 582 and 25 inches squared? The length is 34 and 25 hundredths inches. Okay. Number 4. A soccer coach spent $162 on 24 pairs of socks for his players. How much did 5 pairs of socks cost? Okay, this is a 2-part question. So the first part is we're going to divide 162 by 24, okay? And that's going to give us the price of 1 pair of socks. Then we're going to multiply that number by 5 to find out how many 5 cost, okay? So there, there, and there. So we're going to do this part first. 162 divided by 24. 24, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. 6 times 4 is 24. Carry the 2. 6 times 2 is 12, 13, 14. Then I've got 8, 18 left. I'm going to add a 0. Okay, and in this is cents, right? Because we're talking about dollars. 24 into 180. Didn't I do that just right up here? 24 into 180. Didn't I do that one up here? I feel like I did. But I don't remember what I estimated, so let's try it again. 24 into 180. Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. 7 times 4 is 28. Carry the 2. 14, 15, 16. And 7 is 2 is 1. Then I'm going to add another 0 because we're still in dollars and cents. So this is 1 penny, right? 24 into 120 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Yep. Okay, 5, 10, 12, and 0. Okay, so if each pair of socks costs $6.75, right? That's what this is. Now I need to keep going with my expression and multiply by 5. So 675 times 5 equals 25 times 2 is 35, 36, 37. That's 33. Then I'll put my decimals back, 1, 2. And 5 pairs would cost $33.75. Okay, there's my answer. Number 5. A craft club makes 95 identical paperweights to sell. They collect $230.85 from selling all of the paperweights. If the profit the club collects on each paperweight is 2 times, is 2 times as much as the cost to make one, what does it cost the club to make each paperweight? Okay, so here's what it costs. And they're making a profit of 2 times more. Okay, so they sold it for 1, 2, 3. This is the sale price, right? Now, we need to figure out how much that number is. And we know that they brought back $230.85 from 95 paperweights, okay? Now, 95 into 230 is going to go twice. And that's 10, 18, 19, 40, bring down the 8. Now 95 into 408 will go 4 times. I'm rounding up to 100 in my head if you didn't figure that out. This 2 is 36, 37, 38. Wait a minute. 6, 7, 38. Yeah. 8, 2. Now bring down the 5. 95 into 285 will go 3 times. 28, and that's 0. Okay, so this number here is $2.43. Now, that's how much they got from each paperweight. But the cost to make it is this, and this amount is the profit, right? So I need to divide this number by what to find out the cost? I need to divide it by 3, right? So 3 goes into 24 8 times. And then 3 cents goes 1. So each paperweight cost 81 cents to make. Paperweight, squished in there, cost 81 cents to make. Excellent. Surprised they didn't ask us how much the profit was, which we could also figure out, but I'm not going to take you that far because this video is probably already getting too long. There's your homework, a lot more division practice. We're getting into regular old division now, long division with decimals, and you're doing a great job. Ask me if you have questions.